Thank you to our sponsors.
Hi, Chris McLoone here with Fire Apparatus and Emergency Equipment. Welcome to this episode of our podcast, where today we're going to focus on stock rigs. If you remember, our cover story for our April issue was about stock rigs, and we covered them pretty broadly. We covered a number of different manufacturers, and what we're going to do today and in some subsequent podcasts are really kind of dig down into some of the individual manufacturers of stock rigs. And my guest today is Chris Ferrara. He is the founder of US Fire Apparatus. And Chris, thank you very much for joining me today. So like I said before, we really talked about stock rigs in a broad fashion, but it really is interesting when you get down into especially companies like yours, some of the larger fire apparatus manufacturers and their programs, and then companies like yours. There seems to be very unique aspects to all of the different product ranges that we have when we talk about stock or program rigs. So to get us started, could you just describe the US Fire Apparatus stock rig program?
Absolutely, Chris. It's glad to be with you today. Give you a little background. I've been in this industry some 45 years. So, with my experience of building fire trucks for some 45 years, we look at the market today and look what the customer needs are, and some manufacturers today are, 3-year delivery, 4-year delivery. So when we started this business back up some 3 or 4 years ago, we saw the need of quick deliveries. I mean, customers really can't wait have a fire truck built 3 years from now. They need something right away. So what we did was something unique. We went out and purchased about 70 to 80 stock chassis in abroad from Freightliner, Kentworth, our own custom chassis. So it gives the opportunity to a customer to really for us to design a truck that the customer is looking for and actually build it in a record time, 180 days or less. So, it's pretty remarkable. So, when unlike other manufacturers, when they talk about stock rigs, I mean, we still like to customize, trucks to meet individual customers' needs, because as we can appreciate, there's no really two fire departments alike. Some people may think it's alike. Some trucks look alike to the common person, but, different areas across the country have different requirements. So that's what we've been specializing in and really digging our feet into, filling the customer's needs. So that's what we're about.
So I'm gonna flash this photo up here. This is just an example of one of your rigs, but you mentioned a second ago just all the different all the different chassis that you bought from a variety of manufacturers, including your own. But so that kind of lends itself to the idea that there's quite a breadth of products that you offer there. Could you discuss some examples or provide some examples of US Fire Apparatus stock rigs? This type in addition to the other ones that you offer.
No, absolutely, Chris. I mean, what you're seeing here is just a stock Freightliner 1500 GPM pump, hail pump with a 3,000 gallon tank. For rural fire departments to mid-sized fire departments. But that's just one example of many of the stock trucks that we build, and also customizing, these vehicles. I said earlier that, some customers may not want high side compartments, may want low side compartments. Some want ladder racks, some doesn't want ladder racks. So, it's a broad spectrum of what we do. And this is just one of many examples of vehicles that we build, from, like I said, tankers to rescues to pumpers to custom pumpers. So again, we're just trying to fit the customer's need. But, with the quick delivery program that we offer, we keep, like I said, a lot of chassis in stock. We keep pumps in stock. We keep tanks in stock just for the quick delivery program.
Talk about how keeping those chassis in stock helps achieve that 180-day delivery threshold that you've said?
Well, first of all, these chassis are ordered for fire service use. So, basically they're, NFPA approved, chassis with all the different requirements, heavy axles, heavy front axle, heavy rear axles. And, looking at the wide variety of chassis that we offer, it gives us the ability to change some things around, even with our own custom chassis. Matter of fact, we're building and delivering this month 6 trucks to Yonkers, New York, that basically they took 6 of our stock custom chassis and we modified those to put additional seats, communication systems, tool boards, cup holders, and a lot of different configurations to their requirements. So it gives us the ability to move around a product to fit, again, the customer's needs.
You talked about, ladder racks. Some departments want the ladder racks, some might not. Some might want high side compartments, some might not. Does that mean that you are taking a body length that they say they want and customizing it that way, or is it more along the lines of, okay, if you don't want the high side compartments, we have this other model, for lack of a better term, of a body that will accommodate those needs? Talk about that a little bit.
Well, yeah, and that's what sets us apart again, with our heavy-duty extruded aluminum body that we manufacture. I consider this body the heaviest in the industry anywhere in the world. I've done this for many years. It allows us to do different configurations of body. So we're not telling our customer, okay, hey, look, this is what you got to take, model A, B, or C. We're not like that. And that's, again, what sets us apart, that we can configure the body in so many different configurations to fit their needs. So, ladder racks and ladder tunnels are just one, example. But, even from the pump area, if they want triple cross lays, dual cross lays, rear tank fills, side discharges, front extended bumpers. I mean, it's just a wide range of custom stuff that we can do with the stock program that we offer that a lot of other manufacturers can't do. Again, we have done this for many years, and we have just a great staff here that can adapt to the customer's needs. Because again, customers are not buying, in my opinion, not buying trucks, off the shelf, so to speak, a Ford or Chevrolet that goes to somebody's lot, and whether they want to buy a Ford Taurus or Excursion or whatever, we allow customers to make changes to the product, again, to fit their needs.
If a fire department, we could talk about how did Yonkers go about it, but how does a fire department, if they want to purchase a US Fire Apparatus from your stock program, what is the process for doing that? Is there a dealer network they need to go with? Do they come to you directly? How does it work?
Well, we do have some dealers across the country, but a lot of the sales that we do are direct, and also, customer relationships that we've had over the years. Basically, in the Yonkers case, they needed trucks in a hurry to fit their needs because some of their aging equipment, they needed to replace, and they couldn't wait 3 or 4 years. So basically, they called us up. We sat down with their committee and designed a vehicle of what their requirements were, and set out to build them exactly what they're looking for. So, it works very simple. I mean, they'll come in and sit down with our engineering team and lay out a vehicle that fits their needs. So again, we can construct, the body and different variations to fit anybody's needs, so to speak. So
as you look forward, how do you see in the near future stock programs continue? Do you see them really, really taking a foothold? Because I don't think there will ever be a reason to not customize a rig. And it sounds like, you guys are still offering the customization that many people seek when they're speccing one out. But do you see stock programs like this really getting a foothold and really taking off in the near future?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I guess 3 years ago when we started this program, it seemed like everybody else jumped on the bandwagon, so to speak, and offering just, standardized vehicles like off-the-shelf trucks. But to answer your question, I still think this will continue as we go forward, through the industry of such great backlogs all throughout the industry, except us. I still think there's a need, and there will always be a need because, looking back some 45 years ago, my former company, I did a lot of that, at my former company that really set us apart from a lot of different manufacturers. But again, I think this program will always stick around because, fire trucks get in wrecks, they break down, they need to be replaced. So I think that this program will stay around for a long time.
If a chief, were to come to a chief of department or an apparatus purchasing committee chair came to you and said, why choose a US Fire Apparatus stock rig? What would your answer be?
Well, it's simple. We build the heaviest product in the industry, the most reliable product in the industry. And then in turn, there's not, and I'm going to be a little different, there's not a lot of Chris Ferraras that owns businesses, in the fire truck industry. Again, I've been in this industry, like I said, many times, 45 years. I attend all the major trade shows. I talk to customers. I listen to customers. My business card has my cell phone number, that customers can call me anytime, day or night, if they have an issue. But we stand behind our product. So again, what makes us different is reliable product, heavy body, heaviest in the industry, along with the great service that we have. So that's again what sets us apart.
If there was one takeaway you would like the audience to walk away with today about your stock rig program or about just stock rigs in general, what would it be?
Well, I think, customers shouldn't settle for just something that's just out there. I would see that customers really need to get exactly what they're looking for in a product versus just accepting something that's off the shelf, so to speak. Because, these vehicles cost a lot of money today. I guess when you look at these vehicles today compared to what they were 10 years ago, it's a big budget buy for a lot of these fire departments. So, they have to live with these vehicles in these small rural areas to mid-sized areas of the country, some, 20, 25 years. So, get what they want, because they got to live with it and they got to work with it and it's got to fit their needs.
I was wondering if you could clarify a couple of things regarding specifically about your stock program, obviously. What is it about stock programs that help keep the cost of the rigs low? As we know right now, there's not only increased lead times in many cases, but also the cost of fire apparatus has gone up as well. What is it about your stock program that helps to keep those prices lower?
Well, I think number one, it's our buying power on chassis. Secondly, it's our buying power on tanks and pumps and a lot of different parts that go into these stock vehicles that really it's more economically available for customers and fire departments around the world. So, with that, it allows us to offer, a customized rig at a competitive price. So, again, that's what really kind of sets us apart too.
Okay. Do you have any general comments about US Fire Apparatus's program, just in general, or overall? Just the stock, maybe I don't know some of your favorite aspects of continuing to do what you do in this atmosphere.
Well, again, I always pride ourselves to listen what the customers are looking for, but not only that, to build a great product, it's about having the right people and the great people to make this happen. I talk about that all the time. First of all, from sales, people buy from people. This is a people industry, so to speak. related to, when you want to go buy a new car, you're going to, buy a vehicle from, number one, to make sure it's the right vehicle, the right price, but not only that, somebody's going to give you the best service. So with that, but back to the company itself, to build a product like this, it just takes a lot of craftsmen. We employ every craft that's out there, from welders, pipe fitters, electricians, machinists. It takes just a lot to build a program like this that and be agile enough to react to customers' needs in a hurry. That's what really makes us different.
Okay, well, Chris, I want to thank you very much for sitting down with me today. Like I said, there seems to be like unique aspects to every company and what they do. So I really thank you for helping me drill down into US Fire Apparatus there. You mentioned, your business card has your cell phone number on it, but I'd imagine there is a pretty general way for people to learn more information about US Fire Apparatus if they want to. So how can they get in touch with you besides getting your business card, in person? Is there a website they can go to?
No, absolutely. It's usfireapparatus.com. We're on all the different social media networks too, but send us an email. We'll respond quickly back to you. But a couple other things, Chris, while I got you, not only, we're building, commercial stock vehicles, custom stock vehicles, but also industrial stock vehicles that we didn't talk about. We specialize in a lot of industrial fire apparatus that we manufacture for a lot of different petrochemical companies around the world. And we've been very successful with that, but we also have a stock program with that also, that, industrial facilities don't have to wait, 3 years to get an industrial vehicle, that we can turn one of those around in 180 days, 190 days. It really depends on the complexity of the vehicle. But again, it's just a wide variety of vehicles that we offer for a quick delivery.
And of course, like you said before, no fire department is the same. No fire department operation is the same. Rural, urban, no industrial facility is the same either. So critical that they can actually specialize with what they're getting with you.
That's correct. From the industrial side, we build large industrial aerials that can flow up to 6,000 gallons a minute through the boom, which is unheard of. But one other thing too that we didn't talk about was rescues. Not only pumpers. We do quick delivery and stock program on rescues from small 554 chassis all the way up to Freightliner, Kentworth chassis, or custom chassis. So even our rescue truck program is on a quick delivery program that we have done very well with, also in addition to standard pumpers.
All right, perfect. Well, again, Chris, my thanks to you for sitting down with me today. If anyone wants to view previous podcasts that we've run, they're all available at www.fireapparatusmagazine.com/podcast. So again, Chris, my thanks to you for sitting down with me today to talk about US Fire Apparatus and its stock program. Have a good one, everyone, and stay safe. Thanks again, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Thank you to our sponsors.